This is genuinely shocking. The New York Knicks have been hiding the fact that Pacome Dadiet may have a serious toe injury that has prevented him from playing basketball over the last 3 weeks with the team. And on top of this, De'Aaron Fox, someone who Knicks fans already have a bit of a problem with, apparently could become an even bigger rival to the New York Knicks and their fans, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. 68% of people watching this are not subscribed to the channel. If you guys want daily New York Knicks rumors, news, updates on the team, updates on injuries, YouTube shorts, really fun live streams, some TikToks, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But let's jump into this because Pacome Dadiet has been dealing with a toe injury that apparently has not really been a big story, even though it absolutely should be when you consider the fact that Dadiet has not been playing for the Knicks or for the G League team. It's not surprising he hasn't been playing for the Knicks. He hasn't really been playing for the Knicks all season, but he's not playing for the G League team at all. And it's very, very much a cause for concern, in my opinion. Now, New York Basketball on Twitter tweeted out that Dadiet has a right toe sprain and is out again on Wednesday. Other than garbage time, 1 minute of garbage time 11 days ago, the Knicks' first-round pick has not played an NBA nor a G League game for 3 weeks. Now, that is a cause for concern. The New York Knicks spent the 25th pick on Pacome Dadiet and listed him as a project guy, someone who wouldn't affect the day-to-day outcome the next season, but down the line could become a star for this team. And Dadiet has shown a lot of moments where he looks promising. His three-point shooting's been great. He drives to the hoop well. He plays really, really good defense. There's a lot to like about Pacome Dadiet, but he's yet to really crack the Knicks rotation at all, outside of the first game of the season when Tom Thibodeau pulled him, and we never really saw him again play rotational minutes. Though Dadiet looked really good in the preseason and for times in the summer league as well, despite being one of the youngest players in the NBA. And now where we stand today, Dadiet has not played in a long time, and it is definitely becoming a cause for concern for Knicks fans, and it absolutely should be, as Dadiet now not playing in the G League even either means two things. One, the Knicks don't think he's good enough to play in the G League right now, or two, he's been dealing with an injury for a while. Now, as CBS Sports mentioned, Dadiet ended up missing Westchester's 123-109 win over the Maine Celtics on Friday due to a right big toe sprain, and the Knicks haven't provided word whether he's healed from the injury. The Knicks have been very secretive, and this is nothing new, but they've been very secretive about the injury to Pacome Dadiet. They were secretive about Julius Randle's dislocated shoulder. They were secretive about Landry Shamet's dislocated shoulder. They've been secretive about Mitchell Robinson's ongoing foot injury that has still prevented him from playing a game this season. The Knicks are not really doing anything out of the norm for them. They're not covering up injuries, but they're not giving too much detail into injuries because they don't see a reason to. And it's honestly the right move because there's no reason to put all the information out there. Don't air out your laundry at all because it's a bad choice if you're an NBA team because other teams are going to see this and pick up this intel and use it against you. So the Knicks are absolutely right for what they're doing. But it does cause some concern that the Knicks are not really responding on Dadiet's injury. And the other three names that I mentioned they didn't respond on injuries to, and Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and Landry Shamet, all missed extended periods of time with their injuries, which is definitely a cause for concern. Now look, Dadiet, he's been so-so in the NBA G League. He hasn't been particularly great, but he hasn't been bad. He's putting up 13 points per game. He's putting up 5.5 rebounds and 2 assists. The problem is his shooting efficiency is not good at all. He's hitting 25% of his threes and under 40% shots from the field in the 25.5 minutes of action that he plays, which definitely is worrisome when you look at Dadiet. But again, he's young and he is just still finding his way into comfortability, playing in just a completely new world in the NBA or in the NBA G League. Regardless, it's a new world to a young guy who's 19 years old and just moved to America. I'm really not too concerned about Dadiet in the long term, but it maybe does show why the Knicks haven't exactly played him in the NBA much, because he's really not performing too well in the G League as of right now. Again, I don't think this means that he's never going to be good. I think he'll get it together. But right now, we haven't seen the best version of Pacome Dadiet by any stretch whatsoever. Now, taking a look at Dadiet, when he's played in the NBA in the limited minutes, he's averaged 1.5 points per game, 1 rebound, half an assist per game, shoots 30% from the field and 35% from three. Now, obviously, these are very, very limited minutes and limited numbers. He's still just 19 and turned 19 not that long ago. So, You look at Dadiet, there's really no reason why fans should be concerned. He'll get there. He's a project pick. He's still learning the ropes. And then I do truly think that he's going to be good. And on the New York Knicks for the long haul, they really, really liked him, and they really wanted to draft him. So I think it's a good sign. The Knicks have been very good at drafting in that range, whether it's Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, Deuce McBride around that range, Tyler Kolek, who looks very good, Mitchell Robinson back in the day, given that was a completely different regime who picked him. Still, the Knicks have been good at this area of drafting. They have Walt Perrin on their side. That man picked Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. He knows what he's doing as well. I think the Knicks will be just fine. But as of right now, it is kind of worrisome, and I do hope Pacome is back on the floor with the G League or the Knicks very soon. However, we also do have something else to get into today, because on top of all this Pacome news and entering in and out of the Pacome zone now, we also have someone else to talk about, which is basically, wait for it, there it is. There it is. Finally hit the right button. It took 4 tries. But look, De'Aaron Fox, it's official. He's going to get traded off the Sacramento Kings. And one of the teams with a lot of interest in De'Aaron Fox, as you may have seen in the thumbnail of this video, is the Brooklyn Nets. De'Aaron Fox has been a rival of New York Knicks fans, and we will go into that in 1 second why that is. It's a very clear answer, and Knicks fans, we don't forget stuff easily. But just to take a look at De'Aaron Fox, as Ian Begley reported, the Brooklyn Nets are among teams that view De'Aaron Fox as a trade target and have been monitoring the Fox situation in Sacramento. ESPN reports the Kings are expected to listen to offers ahead of the trade deadline, but Fox has a preferred destination. He's under contract through 2025-26. The Nets obviously have significant trade assets to acquire a player of Fox's caliber. There will be plenty of teams calling the Kings on Fox ahead of the February 6th trade deadline. And on top of this, Begley also mentioned that the Nets definitely view De'Aaron Fox as a trade target, but it only makes sense for them if he's available in the offseason. Sacramento is under no time pressure to get a deal done before the deadline and can revisit this in the offseason if they want to. If it chooses, another complicating factor in pursuit is that ESPN reports Fox has a specific destination in mind. Look, in case you guys don't know who the specific destination is, I'm going to save you all some time. It's the San Antonio Spurs. First of all, it's been reported by multiple different outlets that it is the San Antonio Spurs. Outside of that, the Spurs need a long-term point guard. Chris Paul's 86 years old, so he's only going to be around for so much longer. And then they don't have a clear answer at point guard whatsoever. De'Aaron Fox gets to play with Victor Wembanyama, an up-and-coming player, while the San Antonio Spurs are a very high-class organization, have had very little but success over the time that they've been in the NBA entirely. Wemby's just breaking out onto the scenes as a true NBA superstar. He could use a point guard for the long haul who could work with well. De'Aaron Fox, an elite scorer, is the type of player that you want around Victor Wembanyama. He can push the pace. He can handle the scoring a lot of the time to take some pressure off Victor. It just makes a ton of sense. Also, he fits. He knows Harrison Barnes well. The two played for a while together in Sacramento. Harrison Barnes is the small forward for the San Antonio Spurs. On top of that, you got a guy like Devin Vassell, who's one of the best 3-and-D players in basketball, if we're being honest. Him next to De'Aaron Fox is an absolutely perfect fit, so he can cover for him on defense and be a great shooter for Fox to kick it out to, and also just a perfect player for a Fox-Wemby pick and roll to have on the side there. You have Keldon Johnson, who would likely get moved in the trade, if you ask me. You have Jeremy Sohan, who I think would stay in the trade, but would still be someone who's an interesting piece next to all these guys. It's a very, very interesting idea for Fox to go to the Spurs. It makes perfect sense. But the Brooklyn Nets want him, and even if you want to go somewhere, it doesn't mean you're always going to go somewhere. Now, you could do what Mikal Bridges did, and Bridges just said, hey, I'm going to the Knicks, and if you trade somewhere else, my agent's going to tell him that I'm only going to sign a contract with the Knicks in 2026, so I'm just going to tank my value for you, so no team wants me except for the New York Knicks. And it worked out perfectly. De'Aaron Fox could theoretically do this to the Sacramento Kings, but I don't know if he'd tank his own value like that. He's had a lot of good memories with the Sacramento Kings. It was part of the team that went back to the playoffs for the first time in 55 years, which is important. So I don't think he'd tank his own value, and I do think that even if he has a preferred destination, there are some areas where he'd also be happy, and the Lakers obviously not being one of them, but teams like the Houston Rockets who could use a long-term point guard and have an easy guy to trade for him in Fred VanVleet and then just throw a handful of picks at him. I think that's a great trade for the Rockets, and I think De'Aaron Fox would be fine with that, as he is from Houston, so that would make some sense as well. There's also other teams that theoretically could make a move for him. I mean, the Nets I don't think would be at the top of his list, but I don't think they'd be at the bottom because the Lakers exist. Even though the Lakers are good, it's clear no one wants to play there, so that's a different conversation for another day. I'm already hardly talking about the Knicks as it is right here. But there is a reason why this affects the Knicks. De'Aaron Fox would become a Knicks rival. He absolutely would if he were to go to the Brooklyn Nets, and he already sort of is one. Now, taking a look at De'Aaron Fox, there's this moment from 2021 when the Knicks had the 8th overall draft pick. They drafted Obi Toppin, just as a quick reminder, but they're supposed to get the 7th pick. They fell 1 pick. The Knicks fell 1 pick all the time. They were supposed to get the 8th pick. They got the 9th pick and drafted Kevin Knox. And they were supposed to get the 7th pick. They got the 8th pick and drafted Frank Ntilikina. The Knicks always would fall 1 spot in the draft lottery. Nothing changes. It's always like that outside of like 1 year ever where they kept their pick at the same area. And that was like when they traded it to the Pistons, which that pick became Jalen Duren. And that was 2022. It was the one time they didn't jump or fall in 78 years, which was nice. But like, look, De'Aaron Fox saying that and then be like, oh, y'all are so hurt, so hurt. Knicks fans didn't forget. Now, every single time that anything happens, the Knicks fans just clown De'Aaron Fox for this. And it's like, when they were I believe the Kings got the 8th pick recently, and there was a bunch of, yo, 8, I know they're sick. Like, it's just all that stuff over and over and over again. De'Aaron Fox, for no reason, trolled the Knicks. And Knicks fans, they didn't forget. They hold grudges. And he took those tweets down now, so I had the screen grab of that, but a Reddit post back then talked about it, and the tweets he also said is, TBH, I'm not clowning the Knicks. It was all aimed at expecting a top 3 pick and getting 8. First of all, they weren't expecting to get a top 3 pick. They were supposed to get the 7th pick. Wasn't really slander by that, but hey. And then said, since they're so mad at something that wasn't serious, and then posted basically a highlight video of him stripping RJ Barrett, the Knicks' wonder child at the time, and throwing down a windmill dunk. Now, Fox, he was older than RJ, who was a rookie this season, but still doesn't matter. He still posted it. And De'Aaron Fox, basically the guy saying, look, I'm from the same area. We love chopping on the homies, but it's truly pretty sad for like a roast to just start roasting the Knicks randomly. And now De'Aaron Fox has made himself an enemy in New York Knicks fans, which I think is pretty hilarious, and I do think it'd be funny if he went to the Brooklyn Nets, so his career could continue on mediocre teams, despite the fact that he is a great player, and I'm not going to hide that. But it is interesting to think about. Do you guys think De'Aaron Fox has any real chance of getting traded to the Nets? Let me know in the comments down below. And more importantly, what's the deal with Pacome Dadiet? Leave your thoughts down below while the Knicks kind of keep this hidden, which again they should. Let me know. I'll make sure to respond to you in the comments. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks. Damn, 4 or 5 videos today. We're cooking on Knicks Digest, guys. Subscribe. We're going off. It won't stop filming, guys. What are we going to do? I guess you're stuck with me.